Okay, welcome back. This is part 4 of the AI scene cat project. Um, I think this is where we stopped from the previous lesson. So, like I said, if you look at it, once we run, the pupils of the pupils of each eye is just drawn only once. But what we actually want is we want whenever the mouse moves for these uh, drawn circles to be redrawn again at the correct point. Okay, so for now, what I would like to do is I would like to test by making sure we're getting the correct position of the mouse pointer. So what we'll do is we're going to edit our code such that wherever the mouse moves, we would like to draw the left eye at that point. Remember our draw pupil at point at method of the eye. So that would validate for us that the method is actually working correctly. So let's go ahead and what we're going to need in for now is we want the Onmousemove event handler. So go to your design view, go to the form design view, click on the form. So on after clicking on the form, you go to the properties window. Remember, I said this is the properties. This is the properties tab, and then there's the events tab. So what we want now is an event, that is when the mouse moves. So we click on the events tab, and we look for mouse move. I think there should be a mouse move. Okay, this is it. There's a mouse move. That is for the form, not the picture box yet. The form. We're also going to do the same for the picture box, but let's just finish with the form. So on the here we can double click. If you right click, if you click on this little down arrow, it will just show you nothing. It show you it's empty. So double click in the right hand side of this on this mouse move. So I'll double click that. Visual Studio creates the event handler for us. Okay, and then here we can actually get okay, on mouse move. Okay, I'm going to explain what we're going to do here. What we're going to do here is we're going to invalidate this picture box. Okay, the reason we're going to invalidate, or what the invalidate means, is that it's just like a message that Visual Studio gives, or that the program gives your computer, that it needs to redraw it needs to redraw whatever is in this picture box in the picture box. That is, if I put the picture if I call the invalidate method of the picture box. Okay, so whenever the mouse moves, we want, remember, whenever the mouse moves, we want everything to be redrawn. So what we need to do is we need to call picture box dot invalidate. Okay, this is the method we call. So when we call picture box one, actually, sorry, not picture box one dot invalidate. Why are we having issues? The name picture box one does not exist. Why is that? Okay, I'm not sure. Why don't we have a picture box one? Oh, okay, sorry. I wrote a capital P. Okay, silly me. It's a small p. Okay, so it's small picture box one dot invalidate. Okay, and then we're going to do the same. Remember, okay, let me just test this for you. So I've run it, and okay, I remember. It's invalidating, but we're not actually making any we're not really drawing anything in the on the picture box draw event or paint. They actually call it the paint event handler. Okay, so to do that, we'll have to go to the paint event handler of the picture box. So go to your form 1 design view. This is it. So you click on the picture box and then go to the events tab. You look for paint. it's either paint or on paint. Okay, here it is. Okay, so this is the paint event. You double click on it. So this is where the paint this is where the contents of that picture box gets redrawn. Okay, and what we want to do is we want to actually draw this drawing left eye dot draw pupil art. We want to test it down there. Okay, so we don't want these two methods here, because if you remember, this is where form 1 gets initialized, so it only calls this once. But what we want is we want this to be called every time the picture box gets invalidated. Okay, and then also this GFX, our graphics. Okay, let's just grab that also. The way we're going to grab our graphics is going to be different now, because we're not grabbing it from picture box 1 anymore. We're going to be grabbing it from E. Okay, this E is like it comes together, it comes within this event handler. Okay, the graphics context of whatever is being repainted is going to be passed inside this E. Okay, so it's going to be graphics GFX is equal to E dot graphics. Okay, and remember, is the picture box event handler that we actually went to. So we don't need to call picture box 1 dot or graphics dot from image picture box 1. We already have the graphics context of the picture box inside this E. That's why we're changing it to E dot graphics. Okay, then okay, I'll just comment out the right eye, because I don't want, okay, I want the right eye to remain where it is, so I'll just remove this here and keep it here. So the right eye is going to remain in the center, whereas the left eye is going to be, I'm going to call it at the mouse position. Now next, if you want to get the position of the mouse, of your mouse, remember this is where the Onmousemove occurs. Okay, however, when this occurs, it triggers picture box 1 dot invalidate, which actually triggers this onPaint method. Okay, so this is going to trigger this, and inside here is where we're going to call the we're going to grab the position of the mouse. Okay, so and the position of the mouse, you can get it using mouse position. Okay, now the mouse position you're going to get, look at it, it's actually a point, but we can convert it to a point F because we've been using point F. Okay, the mouse position you're going to get is going to be relative to the form. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and use this mouse position as it is, like this, even though it's relative to the form. Also, we're going to use a point to client. I think it's a point to client. Point to compute the location of the specified screen point into client coordinates. Exactly. So mouse position actually gives you the position of the mouse on the screen. Okay, however, if you pass it to this method, this point to client, it's going to return the position of the mouse relative to the form, that is this this particular form. Okay, this form entirely. Okay, let's go back to our form1.cs. Okay, so I'm going to say point F form mouse position is equal to point to client mouse position. Okay, so I was thinking that I needed to cast, remember this point, and this point to client is also a point, returns a point. I was expecting I'm going to cast it to a point F, but it's good to see that you can actually take a point and put it inside point F, so that's good. Then graphics GFX equals okay. Then next we want to draw the pupil at that mouse position. So that's the form mouse position. Form mouse position. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to save this and I'm going to test run it. Okay. Okay, we're getting build errors. There are really like to run no. What's the error? GFX. Oh, okay. This GFX. Okay. I can just grab the graphics context for that. Graphics GFX equals graphics dot from. Of course, we're going to get rid of this, but I just want it to remain in the center of the right eye for now. From image picture box one dot image. Okay, for now we'll just leave it. We're going to get rid of it later. So what I want is the right pupil is going to remain in the center of the right eye, while the left pupil is going to be where our mouse is. Okay, so let's test run that. See. Okay, so we're not getting, this is exactly what I was saying. So if you look at it, the mouse pointer is right over there on the left hand side of the screen, whereas the pupil is on the right. Okay, is way off from the mouse. You would think this is wrong, this is completely wrong, but it's just, there's just a little thing we're going to rectify to correct it so that it's going to be exactly on the mouse pointer. Okay, so far you can see, so far whenever I move the mouse pointer is moving according to the movement of the mouse pointer. Okay, so let's go back, and the reason why it's going off is because notice what we're doing. We're saying it should draw the pupil at the form mouse position. Now if you go to your design view here, look at the form, look at the top left anchor of the form, look at where it is. Now look at where the top left anchor of your picture is. Now that is the reason why you're seeing that difference, because you're taking the position of the mouse on the form and then you're using it to draw inside. Remember, our graphics context is the picture, so you're using it to draw. Is 0.00 in what we're drawing is actually here. Okay, however 0.00 for what we're grabbing is here. So we need to offset this this particular top left of the picture, okay, from the mouse position that we're getting, so that it's going to be as if this picture box starts from the top left. Okay, so let's go back to the form1.cs, and then we're going to say where is it? Yes, point F. We're going to create another point F. We're going to call it picture box picture mouse position is equal to form mouse position. Okay, we're going to say it's going to be new point F. It's going to be form mouse position dot x, and then we're going to subtract the offset of the picture box 1. Okay, so picture box 1 dot x, picture box 1 dot okay, left, I think it's called left, yes, picture box 1 dot left. Now that's the x component, and then the y component, we're going to do the same thing, form mouse position dot y, we offset it with picture box 1 dot top. Is there a top? Yes. Okay, so that is our picture mouse position. Okay, so all we're doing is we're converting this form mouse position into picture mouse position. So we're converting this point to this coordinate. Okay, if you notice, we have two different coordinate systems. We have the form coordinate system, and then we also have the picture box coordinate system. Since we're making our drawing in the picture box, so we have to provide the position in the position of the mouse in the picture box coordinate system. Okay, so we're just going to change this, instead of form mouse position, to picture box mouse position. Okay, it wasn't picture box, it's picture mouse position, we called it, isn't it? Picture mouse position, picture mouse position. Why am I not getting? Oh, okay, I misspelled picture. Okay, so I think it's fine now. So let's run that. Okay. Okay, this seems it's still wrong, if you notice. Okay, it seems to be correct actually. Okay, it seems, oh yes, it is correct. I now know what's going on. If you notice, it is exactly on the mouse pointer, but I don't think it's on the mouse pointer. Anyway, we're going to rectify that also. Let's go back. The reason why it's not actually drawing anything when we are on the picture box. It only attempts to draw when we are outside the picture box, and the reason is because um, the the um, the the form. Okay, if you look at, let's just go to the code. If you look at the code, where is it? This picture box one dot invalidate. Well, we only invalidate when there is a mouse move on the form, not when there is a mouse move on the picture box. Okay, so we need to invalidate picture box one also when there is a mouse move also on the picture box. Okay. Okay, all right, let's go to our design view, that's here, and then click on the picture box, go to events, and then look for mouse move. Okay, that's mouse move. Remember the other time we did it on the form. Now we're going to do the same on the picture box. We double click, it has created the mouse move event handler for the picture box. Remember, the first one was for the form, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to invalidate. Okay, so picture box one dot invalidate. Okay, so we're going to save and we're going to run. Okay, now look at what's going on. Okay, there's a little issue because if you remember, even when that means our initial measurement for the eye was actually correct. If you remember, we had to shift the position of the eye before from our initial measurement. Now we can see exactly the same problem going on with the mouse pointer. You can see the mouse pointer, the eye is not exactly on the center of the mouse pointer. Okay, it's a little bit off, and that means we're doing something wrong in our code. Okay, so we'll have to set our settings for the eye, for the left eye and for the right eye. It means our measurements were correct all along, and then we're going to have to look for the error in the code. Okay, so I think for that I might have to go into my code and do a lot of checking, so I'll probably have to pause this video here. Okay, let's terminate that and pause. Okay, thank goodness, I think I found the where we were having errors. It was actually in this GFX, in this draw pupil art. So I haven't really tested it, but I believe it should work. If you look at the code, a point X minus pupil radius. That's correct. A point Y minus pupil radius, that's correct. However, the width and the height, if you remember, the width of the rectangle is supposed to be twice. That's the diameter of the circle, not actually the radius, okay? So this is supposed to be pupil radius times 2, okay? And the height should also be pupil radius times 2. I believe, I sort of believe that should be the problem. Let's test and see what happens. Okay, yes, I think we get it. We get it correctly now. And by the way, the we have to go back, and you can see now the pupil is exactly on the mouse pointer. However, we need to reduce the size of the pupil. It's way too large. And then we also need to rectify, put back our correct measurements for the left eyeball and eyeball center and the right eyeball center. Okay, let's go back. We're going to go to our form, and we're going to change 10 is too much. We're going to use 10F and 10F, and then let's go back to our notes. I think I still have the correct measurement that we got from GIMP. I'm going to change it to 124. 124, I think it was 124F and 193F. That's for the left eye, and for the right eye is 271 by 193. Okay, and if we run this, yes, finally, that's perfect. Okay, so we have, as you can see, we have the eye at the correct position at the center, and you can see we now have this draw pupil at method is working perfectly perfectly well. So the next thing we need to do, remember, this is the point. For example, if my mouse is here, what we want is, we want this eye to look, or whatever eye object, we want it to look at this, and that means it's going to kind of drag down a bit to the edge of the eye, or somewhere it won't reach the edge. I'll show you the mathematics that takes care of all that. Okay, I think for that I should probably end this video here and do that in a new video, because there's a lot of it seems like a very simple thing to do, but it's actually a lot of calculations. Okay, well, not a lot, but the code is actually very small, but the calculation is a bit tedious. So I think, and I'll have to show you the notes if you're interested. If not, maybe I'll just write the code. Anyway, I'll do a new video showing you the notes of how we got to the calculation for that. Okay, all right.